Hey friends, this is Latoya McBean Pompey, immigration lawyer in New York and founder of Smart Immigration Academy. The question in this video is whether public charge applies to people who are seeking a non-immigrant visa to come to America, such as a K-1 fiancé visa. And this question came out of a consultation that I had just a few minutes ago with a gentleman who is going through the K-1 process for his fiancé. And so here's what the regulations have to say. Just so you know, right in front of me, I'm looking at the rules that the State Department has for public charge, and these rules are this manual, I should say. This is a manual that I'm reading. This is a manual that tells the officers at U.S. embassies how they are to do their work, how they are to review visa applications and conduct themselves during interviews with people. And so that's what I'm reading. And the manual says all immigrant visa and non-immigrant applicants, except a few categories, all of them are subject to public charge ground of inadmissibility. So both non-immigrant applicants and immigrant applicants are subject to public charge. Now, here's what it also says to its officers when they're interviewing people. It says, for those who have a non-immigrant visa, you may request a non-immigrant visa applicant to complete the form DS-5540, which is the public charge questionnaire, in any case where you believe additional information is necessary to determine whether the individual's assets, resources, and financial status are sufficient to address any concerns about eligibility on public charge grounds. So the officer, this is real time, guys, real time, meaning you are there at this interview and the officer may require you to fill out the DS-5540 public charge questionnaire because the officer doesn't think that the officer has suspicions that perhaps you're going to become a public charge one day when you come to the U.S. on that K-1 visa, right? Eventually, right? After you marry your husband or wife and you apply for a green card, you know, the officer thinks that you may very well become a public charge. So he can ask you, fill out this form right now. And then it also says, alternatively, you may ask the applicants any or all of the questions from the form DS-5540 necessary for you to make the public charge determination, including orally. So the officer can say to the applicant, I'm going to ask you some questions from this form, this questionnaire, DS-5540, which is the public charge questionnaire, and I'd like for you to answer these questions right now on the spot orally. So he may require you, non-immigrant visa applicants, to fill it out right then and there, or he just may, you know, for the sake of time, ask you to answer, and you've got to be prepared on the spot to explain some things to him, such as, are you planning on having medical insurance when you get to the United States? If so, with what company or how? And if you don't plan on getting it, I need more evidence. What evidence do you have to show that your income is sufficient to take care of any medical costs that may arise in the future down the road? So you've got to be prepared to answer questions like that on the spot. And if you don't answer those questions correctly, they could deny you based on public charge grounds. And then I also want to get very specific to the section in the manual that talks about K visa applicants. It says K non-immigrants and their petitioners are not permitted to complete the affidavit of support. And we know that they don't have to complete the affidavit of support. You, the officer, may request a K applicant to complete the DS-5540 to assist in evaluating their likelihood of becoming a public charge. Note, however, that K applicants will again be assessed under the public charge ineligibility by USCIS at the time of adjustment of status, where the K non-immigrant is seeking adjustment of status. And they are required at that point to fill out the form I-864. So what this is saying essentially is that for K visa applicants and their petitioners, they don't have to fill out the affidavit of support, but the officer at the U.S. Embassy may require you to fill out that DS-5540, and then if all goes well and you're approved for that visa and you come to America and you guys get married and now it's time for you to file for adjustment of status, you're going to have to also go through a second round of public charge scrutiny under the Department of Homeland Security, right, through USCIS. So you go through 2 rounds of public charge scrutiny, and the scrutiny here, of course, it's pretty intense. I would say that it's much deeper to go through the adjustment of status scrutiny here in America than on the embassy level as it relates to public charge. It's harder, I think, to be approved for go through the public charge process in America than overseas, based on what I've seen with the process here in America compared to the process that those of you outside of America will face. I hope this short video was helpful to you in understanding that public charge applies to those who are seeking an immigrant visa and those who are seeking a non-immigrant visa, such as the K-1 visa to come to America on that fiancé visa. It applies to you guys as well, non-immigrant and immigrant visas. Then the other thing you should know in summary is that during the visa interview, the officer may ask you to fill out that DS-5540 on the spot, or he may ask you questions from the form on the spot, and you've got to be prepared to answer those public charge questions on the spot. And then thirdly, in summary, when you come to America and you have to apply for adjustment of status, you're going to have to go through another round of public charge analysis in order to finally get that green card if you're coming here on that K-1 visa. I hope this was helpful, and yeah, let me know in the comments below if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you, and share this with other people, guys. Share this with other people. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.